Hi, I'm Brett Parker, multimedia specialist for Dairy Foods Magazine. And today we're highlighting Salt and Straw, who is collaborating with Taco Bell on ice cream chocolate tacos, putting a new spin on an old favorite. Here to discuss this is Tyler Malek, co-founder of Salt and Straw. Tyler, thank you so much for being with us today.
Thank you. This is wonderful.
Now, could you please tell us about the initial inspiration behind this collaboration and how it came to be?
Yeah, for sure. This is a product that we've been making, for a few years now. We initially made it for one of our kind of our special Sunday bar called Whiz Bang about 7 years ago, and it was one of those things we could make like 50 of them a week. So we'd make 50 and they'd sell out on Monday afternoon every week. So it became this kind of beloved treasure in Portland that unfortunately disappeared in COVID. That whole part of town kind of shut down. And so we've been sitting on this just incredible product. And lo and behold, Taco Bell reached out to us about a year ago and said, we saw that you guys used to do these. Is there any chance you'd work with us to make this bigger? And we're like, well, do you need more than 50 a week? Because if not, and if you do, then this probably won't work. And they were like, we can help you. So we've been working with them ever since then, trying to figure out how do we actually like, change the techniques and the styles and without changing the flavor or quality whatsoever. How do we completely alter and blow up our manufacturing facility to make these? And so we're excited. This is kind of like 2024 is our prototype launch. We got to work with them on this like launch. We're doing some really special kind of dessert, sweet hot sauces to go on top of it, as a nod to, the personalization, customization that Taco Bell is so famous for. And it's been obviously an honor to be able to work with these guys at Taco Bell. They're so smart.
Now, this frozen treat collaboration is a riff on the Choco Taco by Klondike, which was retired by the company. So, how does your version differ from the classic version?
Yeah, I mean, for better or worse, we didn't know how to do all, like the food science thing. It was more, we came from a pastry side of things. The ice cream itself still is really low in air. It's got our high butter fat. It's got a real waffle cone wrapped around it. And we realized those are differentiating factors. Using like a real waffle cone actually allows us to keep it really crisp. Painting the inside of the cone gives us a water barrier from the chocolate. So all these things we've realized it's kind of this like it's what the original was, just done from a pastry chef's perspective, I suppose, which I think is so much tastier and has so much texture and flavor and just a really fun experience.
Now, did Taco Bell have any input or specifics about what they wanted out of an ice cream snack?
Um, yes and no. I mean, their team is so thoughtful. So they of course wanted to taste everything along the way. And we've made, when we serve this in our restaurant, we would make I've made a couple dozen, 30, 35 different flavors. So we have a large repertoire, and so they wanted to taste through a lot of those flavors and kind of get a feel for what we could do. Ultimately, this was my favorite, and so I'm so glad we landed on this. This is one of kind of my cherished recipes. It's a really simple cinnamon ancho ice cream, um, with a little bit of toasted brown rice on top for some of that texture. And honestly, they it's funny, they had a ton of feedback, but all of it was like positive and raving. So we figured it out pretty quickly. The hot sauces is where we had a lot of fun with them because that was where we got to dive into kind of their core ingredients and um and just riff off of what makes them so famous.
Well, has collaborating with Taco Bell taught you and your business anything new about marketing or snack creation that you didn't know before?
100%. I mean, uh, you know, a we we launch 60 new menu items a year, just as baseline, plus we launch a few different product lines every year on top of that. It's so we thought we were crazy, and then sitting down in the R&D room at Taco Bell, well, where they do almost similar quantities but across 7,000 locations was mind-numbing, needless to say, to see how someone can operationalize it over scale. Um, it was obviously really cool, educational, but also incredibly inspiring. Our whole R&D team got to go down there multiple times and taste and learn, um, and it's cool to see that someone has figured out how to be so highly innovative, like really institute innovation into their DNA of a company. At such a large scale. So we're honored, we're inspired, and we're just like we feel so lucky to be able to have a partner like this coaching us along the way.
All right, so you were quoted at a Taco Bell event saying that this product is, quote, the most delicious thing you'll ever eat in your life, end quote. So I just wanted to ask, what standards and methods do you put into making an exceptional ice cream product as opposed to just an average one?
Sure. Yeah. Ooh, that's a loaded question. I think for us, like, for with ice cream, there's some baselines around quality that are really easier to measure. So air, butter, fat, total solids, like those are the things that if you're in the ice cream world, it's those are all the things that cost money, or don't cost money if you're adding a ton of air. And so from that perspective, we just do it as most as expensive as possible on across the board for all three of those metrics, if that makes sense. As little air, as much fat, as many solids as we could get in there without, denaturing the product. Um, but then on top of that, I think there's a certain level of thoughtfulness and kind of way of layering flavors that really only come from working and running a restaurant environment. It's not you can tell there's this love from a pastry chef behind it, that I think really is a distinguishing factor in all of our flavors. So that includes layering textures, it includes layering spices, it's layering, the way we use chocolates at different ratios. And there's a lot of food science knitted into that, and the melting point of the chocolate and et cetera, et cetera. But at the same time, it's very much like it comes from just, collectively 50, 60 years of pastry experience working in restaurants.
Excellent. So if people want more information about your company and products, where online can they go?
Yeah, so our website, saltandstraw.com, all spelled out, is totally the place. We ship ice cream on a monthly basis. Our real bread and butter is we have a new menu of 5 flavors every month. And so those flavors are always changing based off of, the zeitgeist and what's in season and really, what important food causes and social causes we want to focus on. And then from there, obviously, these ice cream tacos are coming out this summer. So that'll be one of the only places in the country that you can get these for this first year. So we're kind of using that as our test case to hopefully build upon over the next, 3 to 5 years.
Great. Well, that's all the time that we have for today. Tyler Malek of Salt and Straw, thank you so much for your time. We really
Thank you. Thank you.
appreciate you
Thank
being
you.
here.
That was amazing. Yeah.
And thank you all for watching.